Ma.
Oh, I'm super excited to be here at this point in time. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you are connecting to this video. So, you can let me know where you are watching me from. Put it in the comment section. I'm excited to know which part of the world you are watching, this video from. Yeah, so you can put it in the comment section. So yeah, I'm super excited for what we have in store tonight. Tonight is about how to write and publish your book in 2026. And yes, as a means of introduction, this is Birthing Words Publishing. Betting was publishing. So what we do is we exist to help you bring your words to life. We exist to help you bring your words to life. So yes, put it in the comment section. Let me know where you are joining us from. I'm excited to know the part of the world that you are actually joining us from. So yeah, this is Breton was publishing, and tonight we'll be having our official first webinar for the year. So this goes to say that we still have subsequent webinars on board just for just to support your authorship journey. So we'll be having our very first official webinar for the year 2026. So yeah, Better Was Publishing exists to help authors, to help individuals bring their words to life. And tonight you'll be, if you feel like you don't know how to go about your book, or you've started and you don't even know how to proceed, you don't know how to proceed, or maybe you've even completed your manuscript, but you're stuck on how to go about the publishing. Tonight we'll be digesting everything you need to know, from how to write a manuscript, get it completed, and how to publish your book. By the special grace of God, Breton was publishing in the last year. We worked with 16 authors and we were able to print over 3,000 books. Yes, you watching me right now, you would be among the authors we'll be working with who would have birthed it or a book before the year 2026 ends. Your book would surely be among this set of books. So these are some of the books we've worked on. So we were able to birth this book. So last year we were able to work with 16 authors, right? We birthed 16 books, and we were able to print over 3,000 copies of books in Nigeria and across Nigeria, in Canada, in the UK, in the US, and in Germany. While in Nigeria, we're able to deliver to different states: Lagos State, Ondo State, Delta State, Port Harcourt, and it goes on like that. And guess what? Our goal for this year is to work with 50 authors. Yes, like I said, tonight I know for sure every one of you on this call would be among the authors we'll be talking about by before the end of 2026, because your book, you must have been holding your books in your hands. You must have been, these are some of the copies, right, of the books we were able to birth in Breton was publishing, right? So yeah, like I said, you are in for something exciting, you are in for something transformative tonight. And I really do not want you to be in a haste to leave, because we have something special for you. It's an exclusive offer that is specially curated for everyone who will be a part of this webinar tonight. So can you see why you need to be on this journey with us, and as well end this journey with us, so you don't lose out on anything? So like I said, our goal for this year is to work with 50 authors. And guess what? We've already worked with two authors. Yes, we've worked with two authors. They have their books delivered to their doorstep already. And currently, we are working with two more authors. So it means we already have four down, right? We have four down. And you are going to be among the 50 authors in total that we'll be working with in 2026. I'm already excited for you. I am excited for you. I'm excited for you because we believe that everybody has a book in them. And everybody have a book in them. All of the fears, I've worked with quite a number of authors. And one of the fears, they mention is the fear of, I don't know how I'm going to go about writing my book. right? I don't know I'm going to go about writing my book. I feel stuck and all of that. You hear other people mention things like, if I write my book, who would buy my book? And one of the things I need to know is this: it is not necessarily about who will buy my book, it is about who needs to see your book, who needs to read your book. All of these things have actually, set a lot of people and, just held them down from taking a bold step to birth their words. Because one thing writing your book will do for you, I'm telling you, it is that it will guarantee you life after death. I know quite a number of us here must have heard of the story of, yeah, let me know where you're joining from. Thank you. I know quite a number of us must have heard the story of the late Dr. Miles Murrow. Recently, someone was with me, and then the person, we were having a conversation, and then she said something. She said, it doesn't even look like this man is not more existing in this world. Why? Because she reads his book. And reading his book, it's as though she's feeling his presence. So imagine if he took his book idea to the grave. And that is not what God wants for each and every one of us here. And that's why tonight I really want you to tighten your seatbelts, because we are taking you on a flight. Yes, we are very intentional about this. You need to bet your book. You have a book in you. You have a book in you that should be delivered to the world. The world is hungry for that solution. The world is hungry for that which you carry on the inside of you. And so tonight we are holding you by the end. Like I said, do not be quick to leave, because something amazing is waiting, particularly for you. Yes, you. And if you have anyone who should be here that is not here, thank you for joining. Please put in the comment section. Let me know where you are connecting from. By the way, I am Sandra Orimiladeye. I'm the co-founder of Birthing Words Publishing. So good to have you here. So, in a short while, I'll be inviting our speaker. Like I said, please, if you know of anyone that needs to be here and he or she is not here at this point, kindly do well to alert them. You could send them the link. Just, help them, because they need to be here. They need to listen to this before the end of 2026. One thing I will assure you is this: you would end the year holding your book in your hand, just like I'm holding my own book. This is my book. I'm holding my book. Yeah. So, and I also showed you a couple of books we printed. I could imagine the joy. In fact, not I could imagine, I saw the joy, because, we saw how our authors would always, express their joy to us on how we're able to help them bring their book to life, to bring their book to life. So this is you. I'm already seeing the author in you. So without further ado, oh, come on. Without further ado, if you can clap wherever you are, come on, let's clap. Let's make welcome tonight to take us further. Okay, yes, keep calling people in, keep calling people in. We are fired up for tonight. I'm telling you, we are fired up. Keep sending this link to people, to your friends, so they can join. Yeah, so they can join. So our speaker will be up soon. Yeah, so while he's on board, while he's preparing to show up here, okay. So in the next 5 minutes, we'll be having our speaker will be here. Yeah. So put in the comment section, what are your expectations for tonight? Let me hear from you. Type it in the comment section. What are your expectations tonight? And while we are putting in that, be sure to let me know where you are connecting from. Yeah, be sure to let me know where you are connecting from. So yeah, do not forget, I am Sandra Orimilade, and yes, I would love to know you as well. Put it in the comment section. Where are you joining from? What are your expectations for tonight? Yeah, so let's have some chats. Yeah, put it in the comment section. Tonight is loaded. I'm already excited on our behalf. I'm excited on our behalf because many authors will be birthed. Many authors will be birthed as a result of this webinar tonight. And you know how to write and publish your book. Like it's a topic that is a topic that we need to be, intentional about. And I'm glad we are having it tonight. So yes, we have our speaker in our midst tonight. And so I hope you are warming up. Put in the comment section. Oh, I'm checking. I want to know what your expectation for tonight is. What your expectation for tonight is. And I can assure you, you will not leave here the same way you came. You won't leave here the same way you came. So here with me is, come on, if you can clap, clap wherever you are. Let's make welcome none other than the delectable, the phenomenal Mr. Kingsley Obiefule. You're welcome on board, sir.
Good evening, Mrs. Sandra. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'd like to know if they can hear me, maybe in the comment section or something. I just want to be sure that everyone can hear me before we begin.
Please put in the comment section if you can hear him. But on my own end, it is perfect. I can hear you loud and clear. Please put in the comment section if you
Okay.
can hear him.
All right. I'm not seeing any messages, so I just want to believe that everybody can hear me.
Okay, I think you
All
can
right,
go
can we
ahead,
go
sir.
ahead now?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So good to be here once again. Thank you for the opportunity. I really, really, really appreciate. Um, I know we had this kind of session about a year ago, and it was really a wonderful one. I'm glad to be here again. Thank you, and I'm so proud of what you guys are doing at Betting World. I see the amazing work you've been doing. I must say, thumbs up. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir. So they said they can hear you now.
Okay. So very quickly, we'll just jump into the business of the day. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to open my notes so I don't have to skip anything at all. So I don't have to skip anything at all. Get me my mouse. All right. So basically, today we are talking about how to write a book that changes lives, gives you passive income and influence. But before we do that, I know Mrs. Sandra has done quite a lot with the introduction. So, but I'm still a little bit of it. So, my name is Kingsley Beefley Andrew, and basically, I'm just a simple author and also someone who has built a business out of um, the book, out of publishing or out of writing. It has been quite a wonderful journey, and it's something I encourage everyone to do. And a lot of times people think that being an author is a difficult task, but I must say, on the contrary, is something that is very easy to do because I believe each and every one of us has a story within us to tell. Every one of us has a story to tell. Every one of us has something to give out. And some might be waiting for a spectacular experience in their life before they can write something or write a book. But you actually don't sort of extraordinary or spectacular experience before you can author a book. As long as you've been able to go through an experience and have victory, have results, have testimonies, I think you are in a better position to say something which someone would need. You have a solution that to somebody's problem. All right. So now we move over to the first part. You see, when it comes to writing a book, when it comes to book authorship or writing a book, The major work itself is not in the writing. The bulk or the bunch of the work is basically in the mindset restructuring, your ability to restructure your mind in a certain way, in a certain direction. That is what actually makes you a successful writer, a successful author. It's basically about the mindset first. The writing exercise itself is really not much of a big deal, because with AI today, just take him out of it. With AI today, you can easily write within few hours or within few minutes and get your manuscript out. Please just let me know if you can still hear me. Don't mind the noise in the background. All right. So first, I want to start with the psychology behind a good book. What is the psychology behind a good book? What really makes a book a good one? But let me paint this picture for us while we continue. You know, while in the university, there are some lecturers that when they come into the class, and after 5, 10 minutes, we get tired of hearing them. We just want them to leave the class immediately. But there are others who, even if they spend 3, 5 hours, we are not just tired. We enjoy them. We want them to stay long. Now, with these two pictures I've painted, both of them are lecturers, possibly teaching or lecturing on the same thing. But you and I will agree on something. One comes with an interesting aura that makes learning very good and very wonderful. And the other one sometimes make learning very boring. And then if you look at these two things, would you really say that the lecturer that stays longer in the class is the one who gives more value, or the one that stays maybe just 1 hour, 30 minutes and is out? Now, if you look at these two pictures I painted for you, you realize that sometimes the length of the lectures is not really what makes a lecture, a particular lecture, a learning experience interesting or boring. You understand? Something can be very lengthy and it's still boring. You can have a 3 hours class and it's a very boring class. And again, you can have a 30 minutes short teaching session and it's one of the most wonderful experience you ever have, and you might not want it to end. What am I trying to say in essence? You know, a lot of times when people are confronted with this fear of writing a book, some tell you, I don't know what I will write because I don't know if my book will be plenty, if it will be small, or, you know, things like that. But over time, I've come to understand that what really makes a book valuable is not the volume of the book. What makes a book valuable is not the person who wrote it. What makes a book valuable is not even the influence of the author who wrote the book. Because sometimes you can see some books that are overhyped, and then by the time you pick it up and you get halfway into the book, you ask yourself, so this is the thing I wasted my money for. I don't know if you've ever had such an experience before. If you have, let me just say something in the comment section so I know you're following. I want to see the comments while we continue. All right, nobody's saying anything. I think I just want to make sure I'm still connected. I hope you can hear me clearly. All right, Sandra. Okay. At least they can still hear me. All right. So let's continue. So basically, I said the psychology behind the book is talking about what really makes a good book. It's not the volume of the book, it's not the influence of the person who has authored the book, and it's definitely not the country or where the book was published. None of these things actually matter, because I've collected quite a number of books, and I can tell you I've seen books written by Americans that still does not make sense, and I've seen books written by Nigerians that makes a whole lot of sense. In the same way, I've seen books written by influencers, people with big names, big social media followings, and you know, kind of large influence online and offline. And yet, I will just tell myself this person was not supposed to write a book area, you know. And I've seen people who are not known. They are not so important in the scheme of people's own thinking. They don't have followings like we all think, but yet you see some of them write certain books as small as an ebook, and those books are mind blowing, very powerful. And you'll be asking yourself, why have you not actually announced this book for everyone to, have a copy and all of that? So basically, I'm trying to talk to as many persons who are experiencing fear of any sort at all as to why they should not write their book. This is me telling you that you do not have to, experience that fear. Um, it does not take a large volume for your book to be valuable. It does not take a large following. It does not mean you should have thousands and millions of followers for you to actually have a great book. And then your book does not really need to, be written out of one mega supernatural or one spectacular life encounter, to actually make an impact in the life of people. Let me give you a very practical example. As long as you go through certain things in life and come out with good results, there are other persons who will still go through that same thing. There are other persons who will still experience the same cycle of things you experience in many, many years to come. How about documenting your experiences and documenting your processes and your results? I tell you, that will be you making another person's journey easier. So your job as an author is to document experiences, document ideas that actually helps another person's life move from point A to point B. So you don't have to have some kind of mega things happening in your life before you put down the book. Now, before we go over to another thing, I feel I should also speak to someone here. You see, a lot of times we want to write a book and we are discouraged, we are scared because we feel we are not known, we don't have followings. Who knows me? Why should I even write a book and all of that? Now, let me share some ideas with you. There are different kinds of book you can write. There are different kinds of book you can write. Now, one of the things that people get scared of is legacy books. I will explain all of them in bits. Legacy books. What are legacy books? For me, legacy books are books you write after you've achieved a certain feat in life, you've achieved a certain height in life, and then at that point, you are not writing the book for the money, you're not writing the book for the fame, you're not writing the book to be known. You understand? At that point, you're writing your book just to leave a legacy behind, just to make a mark and say, you know what? I came to this earth. I did this. I did this. I did that. I've conquered. This is me saying this is my contribution to the world. You understand? Let's give an example. If somebody just wrote a legacy book of last year, and that's Otedola's book on business. I'm sure a lot of us know the book. It went viral. Almost the whole Nigeria was buying into the book. That's a very perfect example of legacy books. I tell you one thing, Otedola did not write that book because he wants to make money. Otedola did not write that book because he wants to make money. But there is no amount of money that book wants to give Otedola today that he has not seen in his life. You understand? So that kind of a book is called a legacy book. It's something that he's just passing his wealth of knowledge and experience to the next generation. So whether millions of money are made out of that book, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I've made my mark. I'm transferring my wealth of experience and knowledge to the next generation. You understand? That is how it works. I hope you all can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just say I hear so that I can continue. I know that we are all together. All right. Okay, now I was talking about types of book that people can write. I talked about legacy books. That this is something you write when you are, you've achieved a certain fleet in life. Then there is another one called the passion book. Passion books are one of it's the most common one you see among young people who are passionate about a particular subject, about a particular thing. They want to lend their voice. They want to, say something about it. It could be their skill, it could be their gift, it could be something, but they're just passionate about it. You understand? That one. That's what we call a passion project. For that one, whether the author makes money or not, sometimes money is not really the driving force, but it is also something that moves them to write. You understand? Then again, we have another type of book, which is the business book. The business book here does not mean books that talks about business. These ones are books written solely for the goal of impacting knowledge, making a difference, and then make money out of that book. You understand? There are several books like that. There are several books like that. Um, I can't start mentioning. Okay, for example, um, How to Sell to Nigerians by this guy in Lagos, the Honorable in Lagos, that own Akin Alabi. It's a business book strictly to make money. While he's teaching, he's making impact, he's also making money. You understand? There are books like that. So you have to find where you fit in. Most time people get scared. They say, because I've not achieved anything, so there is, what should I write? No, that will be talking about legacy books. When you come towards close to the end of your life, you can write books like that. You understand? But it does not mean that you don't have what to give at this point in time. It does not mean that you don't have what to say to the next generation. It does not mean that you don't have what to say to your circle or to people around you to actually move them from point A to point B. I hope this point has been fully noted. Now, let's go into our notes and our course outline for this night. If you're following me, just tell me, just type something following, anything at all, drop an emoji so I know we are all together. All right, let's go ahead. So basically, I said all of these things. The first point I talked about was about the fact that your book does not have to have large volumes before you make impact in people's life and all of that. So in my note here, I said something very simple. It is the value within the pages of the book that matters. It's not really the volume of the book. It's not really the size of the book. It's not the name of the author. It's not about the location of the author. It's the value within those pages that really matters. Can the content of those pages move somebody's life from point A to point B? Can the content of those pages change somebody's life for good? Can the content in those pages actually give somebody results that when they apply it, they get results that give them some sort of satisfaction that makes their life better compared to before they got that book? If your book has such a content, then that is what you're being called a book, whether it's 300 pages, 500 pages, or even 10 pages. You understand? So if what you can write is an ebook, that's great. A book is a book. It is not the volume that makes it a book. You understand? So now let's go over to something else. Now, you have to understand that you cannot change the world, but you can change a person. Now, this is me inviting you to become an author. You cannot change the world, but you can change a person. As long as you have something that when you say to somebody, that when you put out for somebody and they apply it and they can bring forth results or they can see results in their life, then I tell you, you can actually be an author. You can actually author books. You understand? As long as you can impact one person's life, then you can actually be an author. The goal of writing is not for you to write to the whole world. The goal of writing a book is to write to one person. Is to write to one person. You should have that in mind, or have that at the back of your mind. The goal of writing a book is not to write to the whole world. The goal of writing the book is to write to one person and cause transformation in the life of a person. Now, let me kind of draw your mind to something. Have you ever been reading a book, and then while you're reading that book, it looks like the author is talking to you personally, like the author is living in your head, and like this guy knows what I'm thinking? Now, situations like that. And then sometimes you're reading another book, it looks like you're totally disconnected. It looks like this guy is not really saying something that connects with me in my soul. The difference is this: the first person whose book connects with you deeply actually wrote that book with one person in mind. And so, if you are set out to write your book, you should have it at the back of your mind that the goal is not to write to the whole world, the goal is to communicate to one person. Your goal is to communicate to one person. And as long as you can make the life of one person better, then your book has actually given results. That means you can actually be an author. You understand? This is me just trying to build the foundation, to build. Remember, I said in the beginning, it's basically mindset first before we start doing steps, what to do and what not to do. So just be patient as we go along. A lot of times, a lot of teachers who teach both online and offline, I used to be like that until I learned better also. Sometimes we come up with 21 steps of what to do to get this, 30 steps of what to do to get this, but we forget that a lot of times these steps will not yield results if you don't work on the mind of the person to take the steps. Now, let me give you a practical example. I can write a book and tell you this is 5 ways to make 10 million naira in the next 7 days. Guess what? Everything I've written in that book can be achievable. But do you know that you can read that book and not get that result? Let me tell you why. There is something that I cannot teach you in that book, and that is my mindset, the way I think. There is something that I cannot teach you that is not in that book, my willingness to be disciplined. There is something that is in that book that I might not teach you, and that is my resilience, my ability to refuse to give up on anything at all. So that means if I try now to hit the 1 million and I did not achieve it, I'll fall again. I tell myself, we move, we go again tomorrow, another day, we'll try again. If you are not that kind of person, even if you follow all of the steps I've mentioned in that my book, in that my so-called successful book, you will not achieve the result. You understand? So it is mindset first before you actually take physical steps. So be patient with me while we work on the mindset of the author before we now take you through practical steps you can take, because this is the most important part. So if you can still hear me, just let me know I hear. Just say I hear. I like to read the comments. All right. Conversation with Tommy. You said, Joshua said the goal of writing is to write to transform one person. Blessing Anwaudo said, I hear. That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's continue now. Now, as if you are here and you are aspiring to be an author, let me give you one secret that a lot of times people don't. Okay, Yinka said I hear, Joshua said I hear, mindset before physical steps. Okay, that's all right. Let's continue. Now, let me give you one good advice that you hardly get out there, and this is one thing I make sure I teach my students or people who come under my training, especially when it comes to authoring a book, marketing a book, publishing a book, and all of that. You see, there is a whole lot of hustling going out there, happening around there, outside there. If you go online, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When you go online now on Google, you see somebody selling something, how to do this. Tomorrow, the person has released another product on how to do this, 31 steps of doing this, and all of that. You see, everybody is scrambling for the next big idea, for the next thing that will sell, for the next thing that will give them the 1 million, for the next thing that will give them the 10 million, for the next thing that will give them the next big result. Everybody is scrambling for the next big idea. But look, if you want to be the kind of author that delivers results, the kind of author that people will reckon with, the kind of author that when people finish reading your work, they would like to connect with you. Your memory lives in their head. They remember you along the journey, that this is the person whose words transformed their life. If you want to be that kind of author, then this is my advice to you. In your journey of trying to become an author, you have to think impact. Think impact. Think impact. I'd like somebody to type that out in the comment section. Think impact. Think impact. If you want to be the kind of author that will be remembered, if you want to be the kind of author that people would want to talk about because your work has really transformed their life, then you have to think impact. If you are hustling for the next big ideas, which book will sell, which book title will be the next big thing to make me 1 million and all of that, then I tell you, your struggle might be endless, because the ideas they never stop coming. Tomorrow there is another big idea to sell. Next tomorrow there is another big thing to do. Tomorrow you want to write about AI. Next tomorrow you're writing about ChatGPT. Next tomorrow you're writing about the next one. Different things. You're just hustling for idea. No, if you want to make a difference and you want to start the journey right, this is my advice to you. Think impact. Impact is the key word here. Impact is the key word here. You understand? Too many people on the internet space writing a lot of copy and paste stuff just to keep money coming in the name of selling information products. Don't be that kind of person. Don't be those kind of people. See, let me tell you one truth. It is very stressful for you to keep hustling for ideas. It is very stressful. It is very stressful. And you don't need to hustle for ideas. They come to you naturally, or sometimes they are birthed in the place of focused or critical thinking. As long as you keep hustling for ideas, you're hustling for this, hustling for that. Today you realize that you're writing about marriage. Next tomorrow you're writing about AI. Next tomorrow you're writing about crypto. Then maybe in the next year you have cheap dimension. You're writing about politics. Then the next one you see, it never stops. It never stops. And if you continue like that, you will not get good results. You understand me? So let's move over to the next point. Now, what is the goal of writing a book? Now, there are several answers. There are several answers to all of this. When I ask what is the goal of writing a book, there are several answers to this. Some people will tell you to make impact. Some people will tell you to make money. Some people will tell you, they want to leave their mark in this life so that people will know that they were once here. And all of these answers are not bad. Writing a book for the sole purpose of making money is not actually bad in itself. No, it's not. You understand? Now, but here is one thing I would like you to know, especially if you are a first-time author or you are just starting out on this journey. You understand? One thing that makes a book valuable is not the number of pages, but the value it carries within it. So any book that you want to write, any book that you are thinking of writing, even while in this webinar, any book that you are thinking of writing, one thing should be at the back of your mind. That book should be channeled towards solving one major problem. That book should be channeled towards solving one major problem. Just one problem. The focus of your book should be to just solve one problem for somebody, not two problems, not too many problems. No, just one problem. I tell you, if you do this, your work is going to be a masterpiece. You understand? Now, the question now, a lot of times people ask is, um, if I want to solve problem, where do I start? The question is, what ability, what knowledge, what expertise, or what experience do you have to solve to solve a problem? Then if you look at this question and critically think about it, you realize that there is something you can do. There is someone you can actually help. There is a problem that you and you alone can help someone solve. You understand? Now, again, dealing with mindset. Let me bring this in. You see, I've had my time with some young people who want to write, aspiring authors, and they tell you, I want to write a book, but I don't feel I should. I don't know how to start. I'm not a graduate. I don't have MSc. I've not built a multi-million dollar company. I've not done this. I've not done that. I'm not maybe a professor, or any of this kind of excuses. Now, let me tell you one thing. You do not need any form of credential to be an author. You do not need, I repeat, you do not need any kind of credential to be an author. The question should be, do you have the knowledge? Do you have the experience? Do you have some sort of capacity or ability to be able to solve one problem for somebody, to be able to move somebody's life from point A to point B? If you have any of these things that I've mentioned, then you are qualified to be an author. Can you hear me? Please, I'd like to know if you can still hear me. Seems we lost connection here. All right, I think we are back again.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Please, if you can hear me, just let me know you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, all right, let's go back to it. So basically, what I was trying to say is this: you don't need any form of credential. You don't need any form of credential to be able to solve a problem or to be able to be called an author. As long as you can solve a problem for someone, as long as you can move someone's life from point A to point B, then you are qualified to be an author. As long as you move somebody's life from where it is to where they need to be, or a step further positively in their journey, then you are qualified to be an author. You don't need credentials. You don't need to have a BSc certificate. You don't need to have an MSc. You don't need to have a PhD. You actually don't need to have any form of certification at all before you can be called an author, or before you can be able to write a book. Now, let me ask you a question. If you have been walking or you've been traveling on a journey, or let's say in the desert, and then you have been very thirsty, you need water to drink, else you are going to die. And then while you are working, and then all of a sudden you meet someone who has water to give to you. Do you pause and ask the person, are you a qualified water doctor? Or are you a qualified water engineer? Or are you a qualified marine something something, before you collect that water and drink? Or do you just grab that water and drink so you can stay alive? Now, if you're being very honest with yourself, you realize that you will not ask any of this question. Now, that is the same way it is with the world. The world is being rocked by several problems. There are 1,000 and 1,000,001 problems that people are going through out there. And if your book carries a solution, carries something that solves one of those problems for them, I bet you nobody wants to stop to ask for your certification, to ask whether you are a qualified personnel before you can actually help them solve their problem. Let me give you an example. Almost every one of us in Nigeria have money problem. We need more money. The economy is not smiling, so we need more money. Now, let me ask you, if I come to you and tell you that I actually know a sure way to 10x your income, no matter what it is. Let's say you are earning 1,000 naira or 10,000 naira, and I tell you I know what you can do in 7 days to 10 times that money. Are you going to be asking me if I'm a certified financial advisor, or will you actually sit down, and listen to what I have to say in order to change your life? Certainly, you will listen. You will not start asking me if I'm a certified financial expert, if I'm a certified CBN approved money coach, and all of that. Why? Because you have a problem and you need a solution. And as long as someone is here to offer that solution, that is what matters. That is the same way you should be thinking as an author. The people out there with the problems that they are dealing with are not looking for professionals. They are not looking for people who are branded with certifications. They are looking for people who can make their life better. So as long as you have an experience, a body of knowledge, a capacity to be able to solve problem for someone out there, then you qualify to author a book. You qualify to write to someone, to write a book out there. And you should not feel threatened by big names and all of that. That is not what really makes someone an author. So if you are here tonight and one of the challenges you're going through, you are doubting yourself, you feel you're not confident enough to be called an author, to jump into writing a book and all of that, this is me telling you that forget those fears. Jump in and do the work. As long as you can solve one problem for somebody, you qualify to be an author. It is not the certifications that makes you an author. It is your ability to move people's life from point A to point B. Your ability to solve a problem for somebody. Your ability to make somebody's life better than the way it was before. That is what qualifies you to be an author. Are we following? Please, I'd like to see comments coming in to know that we're actually together on this and I'm not talking alone. I'm talking to myself. Can you hear me? It seems I've lost my connection. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Somebody said clearly. Can you hear me,
Yes, I
Ma?
can actually hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay, okay. I lost my connection here, so I just wanted to make sure that they can still hear me. All right. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Let's move on to something else. Now, we have dealt with the mindset, which is the most important part in this journey. We've dealt with the mindset. Get the extension and plug the system for me. So now we've dealt with the mindset. So let's move on to the main writing itself, finding what to write, finding what to write. This is one of the biggest challenge that a lot of first-time authors or to-be authors deal with. The challenge of getting the best ideas to write, or what should I write on. I'm sure somebody here is also struggling with that question. Possibly you have a lot of passion, possibly you have a lot of things you know, and you don't even know which one is best to write on, or you don't know which one to start with. You don't know which one will sell best, or you don't know which one you can actually use to be a blessing to somebody. Now, let's start from there. Now let's start from there. You see, every setback that you've ever experienced in your life, someone else will definitely experience it tomorrow. And as long as life continues, 1,001 people would also still experience it years to come. Years to come. So you must understand one of the ways you get your ideas on what to write. Don't worry, it's charging. One of the ways you get your ideas to write is to ask yourself, what are these setbacks and these experiences that I've gone through and I've come out victoriously that I think will be of help to some other person? Let me give you a perfect example. In my final year in the university in 2011, I was suspended indefinitely from the fellowship, from the campus, because of campus fellowship. I used to do a lot of campus fellowship thing. I was a pastor then in school, and I was writing my final paper, and then I went for an indefinite suspension. That was in 2011. It was devastating, it was shocking, it was heartbreaking, and a whole lot of things. But that period while I was at home and all, God taught me quite a lot of lessons. And after that, I put down those lessons into writing. I put down those lessons into writing. And eventually, somehow, after a year, I got called back to come and complete my degree program before leaving. So when I was coming back, I brought back my published book. The title of that book, that was my first book ever. The title of that book is Triumph in the Midst of Chaos. I kid you not. That book traveled to places that I had never dreamt of traveling before. I didn't write that book as an expert, maybe minister. I didn't write that book because I know the Bible too much. No, I didn't write that book because maybe I had one spectacular encounter with God or anything. No, all I put down was my journey all through the year of suspension out of school, how I felt betrayed, how I felt abandoned, the encouragement I got, how I encountered God, the lessons I learned about facing challenges and dealing with challenges, the lessons I learned when going through trials for what you believe and for standing on the right thing. I tell you, that book traveled far and made me quite a lot of money then. What did I write about? Basically, an experience I had and the victory that I had. So this can actually be a template for somebody. You've gone through one or two things. Some might not be good, some might not be so good, some might be outrightly bad. But for the fact that you've endured it, you've conquered and you've won, you are no longer there, then you are the best person to share that testimony in the book. You're the best person to write and teach some other person, to also encourage some other person on their own journey. Let me give you a perfect example. As much as it is not good to be raped, there are a lot of persons who have gone through some form of molestation and abuse. You've gone through the process, you've gone through the healing, you've gone through the therapy, you've gone through everything that needs to be gone through, and you've healed, you've come out. Don't you think that there are other young girls, other young people who might also be going through the same thing, that would actually need your knowledge and your well of experience? That is something you can write on. Now, another example. Some of you have been working in an organization for a long time. You've gathered quite a lot of experience. You've gathered quite a lot of knowledge in that field of work. Putting that down as a book to teach other people who are coming newly into that career is something you can also consider. Imagine being a proprietor, or imagine being a principal or a headmaster or something for a school for more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. I believe with that number of years, you've gathered quite a lot of experience to tell what can make a school grow and what can kill the growth of a school, how to get students or how to get more pupils sign up into your school. That knowledge is enough to be put into a book. That knowledge is enough to be put into a book. See, so there are quite a lot of things that you can actually put down as as book ideas. Another thing could be a divine idea. For those who are Christians, or I don't know your faith, some who are Christians, sometimes God can actually, the Holy Spirit can birth an idea in your mind, can give you certain ideas for you to write about. That is also an aspect of a book you can write. That is also where you can get your inspiration and your idea for a book. For another, you can actually sit down and strategically focus and come up with a solution. Come up with a solution to a particular problem that people are dealing.
Okay, so okay, he's back. Are you able to talk now?
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
So if
okay.
you can
All
hear,
right.
please put in the comment section too.
All right. So basically, we're talking about how to get ideas. Sometimes it could be a burning passion. There are some of you who are called to address the youths. Some of you are called to, address a specific area in the life of the youths and all of that. So see, there are several things you can that can actually be your book idea. Several things can actually be your book idea. In this short moment, I've mentioned quite a number of them. I've mentioned that sometimes it could be your lived experiences, some sort of problems you've gone through, you've experienced the victory and you're out of it. You can write on that and help people. Some can be a divinely inspired idea by God, where He gives you an idea, you write and solve problem for people. Another can be a knowledge you've gathered over time by working in a specific industry or by doing certain things for a long period of time. That will give you some level of or wealth of experience and knowledge to be able to help another person in that same journey or in that same field, in that same career, or something like that. You understand? And again, I said a burning passion. You can have a burning passion for a particular thing, a particular area. Some could be for youth, some could be for married people, some could be for newly married wedded couples, some could be for mothers who just put to bed and all of that. So there are a whole lot you can write on. But now, let me get to the interesting part. The reason why we are holding this webinar is because this year we have said that one of our goals is to help as many persons as possible. I think one of our benchmark for the year is about 100 authors. Mrs. Sandra, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think one of our benchmark for this year is at least 100 authors. We realize that a lot of persons have a lot in them. We have a lot of gifted, creative, and talented minds. People who have ideas that are burning within their hearts, but they are finding a way to express these things out for people to hear them, voices that are waiting to be heard. Now, one of our goals this year is to lend a helping hand as much as possible to as many persons as we can, and that is one of our goals this year, and that is why we are having this webinar today. And I believe also we are not going to be stopping here. We'll also continue maybe in the next coming month. So this is where we're coming to help you. Now, because we've set out a benchmark for a number of people we want to help this year, this is what we want to do. Whether you are an aspiring author, maybe you've written a book and you don't know what to do next. You do not have a guideline or an idea as to how to go about the publishing. Or maybe you have ideas, but you are struggling to put them into writing. You need a helping hand. You need someone to guide you through the journey of writing the book to a completion. Or maybe you actually started, you paused halfway because you feel you have run out of idea, you don't know how to go about it. Or for another last category, you've written your book, you want to publish, and it looks like the kind of amount of money they are calling for you out there is almost impossible for you to break through with it. Now, for everyone among these categories of people that we've mentioned, this is what we are doing as part of our goals this year. We want to help as much as 100 authors this year to get their books, and for us to be part of their journey in becoming authors this year. And because of that, we are giving a 30 to 40% discount on all of the services that I've mentioned. If you are struggling to put your book into writing, you have an idea, but you need someone to guide you through, or you have written halfway, you got stuck, and you don't know how to finish it through. Or maybe peradventure you've written, you're done, but you don't know the best publishing pathway to follow. We can guide you. We're throwing the windows open, we are throwing our nets open wide to help you. We are giving out 30 to 40% discount on all of these services. For as many persons who have an idea, this year should be that year where we also read your book. This year is that year that all your voice also needs to be heard. Remember, those books, those ideas you have should not just live in your head this year. Some other person should read them. Some other person should be blessed by them. Some other person's life should be transformed by virtue of that idea being put in a book. I'm going to be handing the mic over to Mrs. Sandra to take over from here. So if you have any question, I'm still online with you guys, with all of us here. So peradventure you have questions or you need some form of clarity on what next to do, I'd like you to drop your questions and then we'll take it up from there. Mrs. Sandra, I'm handing over to you right now.
Wow, 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 wow. What an explosive session. I'm sure you people were feeling the heat, back to back. Thank you so much, the delectable Mr. Kingsley. Thank you so, so much. So I know you've had, a great moment here. So let me know in the comment section what stood out to you there. And like you said, this offer runs for 48 hours. So if I were you, I'll run down to our WhatsApp community, Birthing What's Publishing, or you can see the numbers displayed on the screen. So you can simply reach out via WhatsApp or call, and as well go to our WhatsApp community, reach out to any of the admins, right, to let us know which of the services you would like us to work with you on, and be rest assured on our 30% discount. So we run our services includes, ghostwriting, ISBN publishing, book cover design, book editing, and we do digital publishing as well. So either of the services, whichever one you are actually looking forward to doing, so just simply reach out to us and then we'll give you the 30% discount. Reach out to the numbers displayed on the screen here, or you go to our community, reach out to any of the admins on the WhatsApp group. And guess what? This is our official first webinar for the year. We have subsequent webinars, coming on board for you. And so be sure to subscribe before you leave this this YouTube session. So let me hear from you. How was the session tonight? Yeah, feel free to put this in the chat box. I'll be glad to I'll be glad to hear them. I'll be glad to read them. And do not forget, we have a free ebook for you, the author's blueprints. Grab your copy. The link is currently on. Join our group on our WhatsApp community. Thank you for clapping. Thank you. On our WhatsApp community, the link to access the ebook is there. So yeah. Okay, you can also access the link
Shane,
here. Okay, I think my team has dropped the link to access the ebook here. So please get the link. Okay, it's in the caption. Yeah, it's in the caption. Yeah, so you can get the link in the caption and just download the book and read. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining tonight. Thank you. If you have any question, now it's time. We are rounding off. If you have any question to ask, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I will be taking them one after the other.
Can you hear me, Ma?
Yes, perfectly.
So I want to do something. I want to do something extra for as many persons who will be signing up. Um, who will be signing up this for the services um, through the WhatsApp group. So you just let me know those ones. Now, I have hard copies here, but for as many who are signing up, I have three books. Three books I will be giving to them as bonus, and then we would also have a free 1 week book marketing training or coaching session for those set of people. Now, the three books I'm giving out, one of them is this: God, Gifts, and Getting Paid. Basically, the book is teaching about how you can actually earn money from God's gift or the gifts, your talents, and all of that. You know, we have a lot of creatives who are sometimes shy, sometimes scared when you talk about charging prices for your gifts, maybe as a graphic designer, a book, or whatever creative ability you have. Some people have doubt, they struggle with charging money for it. So we've written something like that. So we'll also be giving it out free. So Ma, for as many who will be signing up, just let me know. They would have e-copies of this. And then again, there is a second one here, the God of Enterprise. How God designed you to thrive, have influence, and dominate through the works of your hand. It's also we are going to be giving the ebook to as many persons who are going to be signing up, Mrs. Sandra. So you just take note of those who possibly are signing up after this training or for the next 48 hours. These ebooks will be coming along for them. And then the last one we're giving is one of our girl child awareness book titled The Black Street. It's quite large, it's quite big, but it's very, very impactful. So these are the bonuses, the extra books I'm giving out for free, in addition to what you're already giving to them. You know, this is us trying to tell you that we want to support your journey this year. You have there is something you carry that must be seen and must be heard. So you should not hide behind money is not available, there is no one to help me, or I don't know what to do. Tonight we've brought you all three. Money should not be the problem. Then we are here to guide you, and I believe that God will help you to just make the right decision. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sandra.
Wow, can you see? Hey, you all, can you see why I say you need to stay till the end? Look at the extra addition, the extra bonus. Where would you get this from? Where was so if I were you, I would ensure to embrace this opportunity because things like this only comes once. So what are you doing? Ensure to reach out to any of the admins on our WhatsApp community or you reach out to the numbers displayed on the screen. Yes, this 2026 is your year. It is that year where you finally hold your book in your hand. This is that year where you finally hold your book in your hand. So ensure you reach out to us right in the next 48 hours before this offer slips away. In the next 48 hours we'll be responding and attending to as many people as we can. So ensure. Okay, someone is asking when is the deadline for signing up. Yes, you can start from tonight. The deadline it runs for 48 hours. Okay, someone says I'm ready to publish my book as earnest as possible. Perfect. This is what we are talking about. Action takers. Are you hope you are not sleeping on the bicycle? Look at people who are already taking drastic decision. I hope you'll be a part of them. So yes, the deadline, yeah, in the next 48 hours, just ensure within that time frame you've reached out, and we've attended to you. Yeah, so 30% discount on your way, and beyond the 30% discount, you can hear what Mr. Kingsley said. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You can hear what he said. So be sure to have, a fantastic time with Breton Words Publishing. And once again, thank you all for being a part of tonight's session. And like I said, this is the official first webinar for the year 2026. We have subsequent webinars in store for you. So this goes to say that you need to stick to this channel, you need to stick to our WhatsApp community, and as well, ensure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on in other important content here. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to responding to each and every one of you. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of the night. Yeah, from this part of Nigeria.
Thank you very much.